Hey everyone, Rob here, Open Fab Stuff. Today I just wanted to talk about overall what I thought about Pro Tour Baltimore. It just happened this past weekend. Wasn't too far from where I live, so it was a nice little drive there. Just sucked that it rained all weekend, so you couldn't really go out and explore. But I'll get more into that in this video. Overall, I just want to say what I liked about the Pro Tour, what I thought it could be better, and maybe some things that we can expect, or hopefully expect, in the upcoming Pro Tours moving forward. So basically, let's roll right into this. What I liked about the Pro Tour, there was a decent amount of vendors there. I don't think there was a lack of vendors or there needed to be more vendors. I thought there was a good amount. I'd say there was about 8 to 10 vendors, which I thought was fine, you know. They were all there selling singles, selling sealed products, selling, accessories. And I think that's great. It's part of the game. It reminded me of your typical Magic event, at the level of that this game is at. This is exactly what I expected for a Pro Tour. And it was great because you can go up to vendors, if you had stuff to sell, you can try to get the best price for your gold foils or whatever you had, sealed boxes of Arcane First Edition or whatever, whatever the case was. The level of organization from Star City Games was fan-fucking-tastic. A+. Loved it. If I had a question about a side event, there was an area designated just for side events. Or if you had questions regarding the Battle Hardened, the Calling, there was specially designated areas for that, which was great. Issues in the past with other events ran by other companies where it was just a total train wreck, where it just felt like nobody knew where anything was. It was just kind of like, go here, go there. Hopefully they have an answer. I'm just pointing you in this direction so you're getting away from me. There was none of that this weekend. Everyone knew where everything was and when it was, which I'm big in organization. Like, I need to know where things are, how things are, and when things are. So for me, this got 2 thumbs up, in my opinion. That's just me. I've always liked how Star City ran their ship. They always run a good event, in my opinion. This is coming from a Magic player that used to go to SCG events. Now I'm talking pre-COVID here. None of that exists now for Magic, which is why I think a lot of people are moving to Flesh and Blood. They see that Flesh and Blood is a competitive game where they can get their competitive edge on. And I like that part. I played in the Battle Hardened on Sunday. It was ran good. We sat down for our players meeting, which was great because it gave the judges, it gave the TO time to realize, like, okay, who's actually playing, who signed up for the swag. So it allowed us to drop a lot of the players that were not actually playing in the event. Side events were ran well as too. You signed up, you got the little puck. I think I waited 10 minutes for a draftifier, for an on-demand draft, which is great. I got the draft Outsiders. It was my second time drafting it, and I absolutely love the draft experience for Outsiders. I'm not a big Ranger player. I'm not a big Ninja player. I lean more towards Dash, the more, that aspect. But as far as the draft itself, for those classes, for Ranger and Ninja, I absolutely loved it. The generics fit with almost all of the classes. So if you happen to get one of those bomb generics like Ravenous Rabble, it works. You know, it doesn't matter what deck you're playing. So in this portion, I want to go over a critical, you know, what could have been better about the Pro Tour. And it's not necessarily how the Pro Tour was, but where the Pro Tour was. And then there was one vendor that I think was missing from the Pro Tour that I think should have been there, since LSS kind of pushes them to, you know, as part of their partners. And I feel like if LSS is going to push a partner, they should be in attendance at the Pro Tour. Actually, now that I think about it, there's two of them that I can think of. The first is Dragon Shield. You have Dragon Shield that pumps out these sleeves, Crown of Providence, Tunic sleeves, and all the heroes. Why are they not pushing the product? Why are they not at the Pro Tour pressing for this product? That's something that I feel like if you're going to be a part of this game, you should probably be there selling your product, showing us what's down the pipeline. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Everything in this video is just my 2 cents on what I thought could have been done. So yeah, I think Dragon Shield should have been there? Absolutely. They probably could have made a lot of sales too. Hey, I'm playing in a draft. Hey, I'm playing in the calling. I need sleeves. I don't necessarily want to play with these Crown of Providence sleeves because I want to save them for a different occasion. Let me go pick up my favorite hero sleeves from Dragon Shield. At the same time, it would have undermined some of the vendors there selling the same sleeves. I don't know. Who thinks that I'm right or wrong? Leave a comment. Tell me what you think, what your opinion is. Another vendor, this is a big one. PCG grading. Me and my whole group were like, there's no way PCG grading is not here, taking submissions. I mean, if you're going to hand out gold foils that you're saying could be 9 or 9.5 or better, why wouldn't PCG be here? To me, it just seems like a poor choice not to be there, right? You're close partners with LSS with the whole grading thing with the gold foils. Why wouldn't you be there? Why wouldn't you be there to, you know, maybe a person like me? I've never submitted cards to be graded. I've owned cards, graded cards, Magic cards, but I've personally never submitted high-end cards to be graded. For me, I would feel more comfortable with hand-delivering PCG my cards to be graded by them rather than blindly shipping them. We all know how FedEx and USPS can be. Yikes! Some of us get a little concerned about that part, you know? And I think it would have been a great way of saying, hey, you know, drop off your high ends to be graded with us, and you'll get an exclusive Pro Tour, you know, like they did for Worlds. You know, they did the exclusive Worlds banner, you know, grading slab. You could have did something like that for Pro Tour Baltimore, the second Pro Tour of this game. I don't know. These are just ideas that come up in my head. I don't know. I'm an entrepreneur, you know. That's just how my mind works. Tell me if I'm right or wrong in the comments. I don't know. It just seems like it would have went really well for Fab Unsealed, you know, for Chris Sires, when he does his box openings. Hey, you want to pay and get get your card slabbed, I can drop it off. If you're remote, if you're not on location, you crack a cold foil for somebody out of one of their packs, and they're in Texas. They're not at the Pro Tour. Hey, you throw me a fee, X, Y, and Z. I give it to PCG to get graded for you, and then they ship it back to you. I don't even have to ship it back to you. I don't know. These are just ideas that come across my mind. You tell me what you think about it. Now, in this next part, I'm going to talk about the location of the Pro Tour. And I know this was a big hot topic when it was first announced that it was going to be in Baltimore. And some points I can agree to. Some points I don't think are relevant. People were talking about the safety of the Pro Tour in Baltimore. And a part of that I can agree with. Baltimore is not the safest city in the United States. Neither is any major city. So you got to really pick and choose your battles here. As far as safety concerned, it's in downtown. It's in walking distance of most of the hotels that people are going to be spending the night at. I don't necessarily think safety was the biggest concern. However, it's still something to keep in the back of your head. You gotta be smart when you're traveling in major cities. Don't travel alone. Be wary of your surroundings, when you're walking around. Take an Uber to and from, if you have a little bit of a walk. I personally had a 10-minute walk. So I made sure I walked with a group, and if I couldn't walk with a group, or if it was pouring rain, which it was all weekend, I took an Uber. Do your due diligence. Do your homework. Don't try to save a couple of dollars by walking by yourself and risking. Don't take that risk. If you've got some high-end stuff on you, don't take that risk. Spend the $10 in Uber or $20 in Uber costs to get from your Airbnb or your hotel. Just don't risk it. It's not worth it. Make the investment to travel a little bit safer. Overall, in my opinion, I think LSS could have picked a better location in a better city. Now, if it were up to me, it would have been in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Why? More tourist attractions, more places to eat, more things to do outside of the Pro Tour. When I travel, when I get to, spend my time away from my job and playing the hobby that I enjoy, which is Flesh and Blood, obviously, I don't like the whole event to just be about Flesh and Blood. I like to maybe go have a nice meal with friends. Maybe go hang out at a bar or something. Who knows? Everyone's different. Everyone has a different preference. In Philadelphia, you could have did it at the convention center, where you're right next to Chinatown. You have the Reading Terminal to eat at, which has a monstrous amount of amazing food. You have cheesesteaks, Chinese food, you have some Amish takes, you have some other Oriental takes. In Philadelphia, the food itself will make people happy. Comfort food, tons of comfort food. And then you have concert venues. There's all kinds of things happening in Philadelphia. Every weekend, there's something different going on, whether it's art, music, you name it. Sports, major sports. You got major sport venues. You have all of them. Hockey, basketball, football, no matter what time of the year it is. Then there's also tons of shopping. There's some people that, hey, they flew into town. Maybe they forgot their headphones. Maybe they forgot something that they wanted to have on base. while they're at the Pro Tour. There's easily places within arm's reach in Philadelphia where you can pick up something that you may need, or you can order it from Amazon, have it next date or the same date. In Baltimore, I didn't get that feeling when I was at the Baltimore Convention Center. It felt like you were there for the Pro Tour. You know, you had Phillips to eat at. You had you had to travel. You definitely had to travel out of your way to get to them. They weren't within arm's reach of the convention center. And whatever was nearby, it was really like a nook and cranny. Like, you had to really look. Didn't seem like there was any accessible vendors or venues nearby. In Philadelphia, at least. Now, I'm only saying Philadelphia because that's the vicinity of the tri-state area. Sure, you could have picked LA, you could have picked Vegas. You know, everyone knows Vegas, right? I'm just saying, rather than Baltimore in the tri-state area, I would have went with Philadelphia for these reasons. You tell me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know Baltimore as well. I've traveled to Baltimore for concerts, baseball games. That's about the sum of it. This is the first time I've ever traveled to Baltimore. Maybe I've gone for a Magic event years ago that I just forgot about and just can't remember while I'm making this video. Tell me in the comments below, where in the tri-state would you have held it? Honestly, I also thought Secaucus was amazing. You know, that was an amazing spot for safety, for food vendors, and for other stuff since you're so close to New York City. So if you wanted to go out to the city, to eat, to do whatever, I thought Secaucus last year for the first Pro Tour was amazing as well. I can make a whole video on that as well, but I'll save that for another time. But overall, I had a great time. I got to see all my friends. I got to hang out and stay, you know, shoot the shit, open some packs, open some amazing packs with friends and people of LSS and other YouTubers. I got to meet some incredible YouTubers that I normally watch. I got to meet John from Fluke and Box. I got to meet Chris Sires from Fab Unsealed. I got to meet Saint from, you know, Fabled Hunters. All incredible people. I got to meet some new people that I never watched. Richard from Magic to Millions. I got to meet Rudy from Alpha Investments. I got to see Edwin and Dan from Unhinged Magi. All incredible channels to watch. But overall, that was my experience. How was your experience? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care, guys.